Can the Union win the Supporters Shield? Serious question. Can the Union win the Supporters Shield this season? I'm Zero. Welcome in to Zero's a Doop podcast here on the channel where I talk about all things Philadelphia Union. But seriously, it's a question that I didn't think I'd be asking this late in the season, or frankly at all in the season. I had very low expectations for this Union team this year after last year, the firing of Curtin. They got rid of some other players. Again, they didn't really go out and splash too much money. I know they signed Damiani, but the signings that they have made, they've really nailed so far. And you got to give it to Bradley Carnell. He's coming in. He's doing a fantastic job with this group of players, much like Curtin did. Using what he's got, using his system, and trusting that. Carnell's not going to get a lot of money from the front office either. He's going to run into the same problems where he doesn't have the talent on the field that other teams have, because the ownership's not going to spend the money. But he's doing what he can with what he has, and he's making it work big time, Philadelphia Union currently sit atop the Supporters Shield standings, obviously on top of the Eastern Conference as well. Point over Cincinnati, who tied Miami yesterday. Philly coming off of a 3-1 win over the Colorado Rapids. Mikael Ua was the hero with 2 late goals to seal that game. Ty Baribo also getting on the scoreboard again. Kai Wagner with yet another assist. It's just amazing. This team's finding different ways to win. Their defense has been one of the best, if not the best, in MLS this season. They're getting lots of good goal scorers from all over the field. They do need somebody other than just Ty Baribo to score consistently. Hopefully Ua or Damiani can start doing that. Those are the guys you probably look to for that. Or Quinn Sullivan, who's still creating chances as well. I'm just so proud of this team. Honestly, I honestly can't believe we're talking about this with like less than 10 games left in the season. So I got my coffee here. What a good start to the day to be able to talk about the Union being in this position. Can they win the Supporters Shield? Yeah, I suppose. Will they win? I don't think they will. I don't want to not have faith in them, but usually when I doubt them, they prove me wrong, so I'm going to stick with that. But realistically, they're going to have a few more hiccups here and there throughout the rest of the season. And teams like Cincinnati, Columbus, Inter Miami, even if you look out west, Vancouver or something, just these other teams are right there. Even San Diego, the expansion team, is just 4 points behind, which is crazy. That team's playing unbelievably well. San Diego's a good team. They really are. They have a lot of ways that they can beat you on the attack. But in the East is just absolutely stacked this season. Absolutely stacked with Philly, Cincinnati, Nashville, Columbus, Inter Miami. Orlando's right behind there. It's a dogfight at the top. Philly has the best goal differential in the league as well, plus 19, plus 3 ahead of anybody else, the next closest teams. They've scored 43 goals and have given up 24. I'm surprised at both those numbers, to be honest. I didn't think our offense was going to be this good. On the flip side, I also didn't think our defense was going to be as good this season without Jack Elliott in there. But a player like Howeltu Macagna has come in and been an absolute stellar beast in there. Macagna looks comfortable on the ball. He has pace. He reads the game really well. Sure, he makes the odd mistake here and there, but even when he makes mistakes, he can make up for it with his speed. He's so good back there. Very athletic. He scored a goal this year. I really like Macagna. He likes to bring the ball out of the back as a center back. That's a very something you'll see in a lot of other European leagues, center backs that will take the ball out of the back like that. Remember a player like, was it David Luiz? I used to do that. But he's very comfortable with the ball at his feet. And he makes these little like pirouette turns with the ball when there's a defender behind him and just leaves him in the dust and just calmly plays a pass. He does things that I'm like, I've never seen center backs do, especially not in this league. He is so good. We got to lock him up. I'm really worried that we're going to sell him. Knowing this club, knowing this ownership, they're probably already looking to sell him because they know they can make money off of him. But please don't. Keep him around. You have him and Glesnes. Let's talk about him too. He's back to his best. Jacob Glesnes, an all-star. Kai Wagner, an all-star. Ty Baribo, an all-star. Ty Baribo was named MLS All-Star MVP, by the way, for his game-winning goal in the All-Star game. Good for Ty Baribo, who sits with 15 goals right now on the season, which I believe I have updated on here. Oh, 14. No, he's got 15. He has 15. Let me update. There we go. Baribo, 15 goals on the season in MLS. That's 3 behind the leaders, Leo Messi and Sam Surridge. Of course, Messi's up there. He's been scoring like crazy lately. But I'm just like, Baribo's having a hell of a season, really. You could argue he's an MVP candidate, which he should be right now, honestly. Baribo should be an MVP candidate. Because without his 15 goals, this Union team is nowhere near the Supporters' Shield. Nowhere near that. He's scored a lot of big goals for us. Because the next closest player in our team in goals is Ua and Damiani with 4 each. Not even close to him. That's how important Baribo's goals have been. And he scores consistently. He's done that since he's really come up on this team last season. He's done nothing but score goals. The guy is unbelievable in the box. He links up well with his teammates. He hustles. He plays with passion. He wants to score. He wants to win. You love that from your striker. A guy that's hungry to score goals no matter what. I've never seen a striker on the Union as hungry to score goals as this guy. He visibly gets upset when he doesn't get the ball where he wants it, or he misses a chance, or he doesn't score. It's just he wants to score for his team. And I freaking love the guy. He's just been awesome for us. So MVP candidate for sure. You could argue Kai Wagner could be an MVP candidate. You could argue Jacob Glesnes, or even, Danley Jean-Jacques has been fantastic as well. I know he missed a few sitters yesterday, but let's talk about that midfield for a second. Danley Jean-Jacques and Jovan Lukic. Lukic, a new player coming in. Danley, who I wasn't overly impressed with last season when he came in midway through, but has really settled in, and he is fantastic. He's a two-way, box-to-box midfielder that you don't see a lot of in MLS these days. The guy defends just as well as he gets into the attack. He scored a couple goals. His energy is infectious. He is good on the ball. He's just a great player. And he pairs very well with Lukic, who does a lot of the same things. I think Lukic is more of a threat with the shots. Lukic likes to strike from range. He also has a couple goals. And I don't think Jovan gets as far in the attack sometimes as Danley does, but that's a good thing, because then Danley goes forward, Jovan's going to stay, and he's going to cover that ground, and he's got more than enough energy to do so. Because before, when we played the system under Jim Curtin, it was just Jose Martinez, who was unbelievable, and he did enough to cover ground for 2 players. But it was just him, so when he would go forward, there's usually a gap there. But now with this system, those two, they could pick their spots and go forward. Danley has the freedom to kind of go forward and join the attack with Lukic staying, so it really helps. And then you got a player like Vasilev on the left side, who obviously does the work too, brings the energy. He's been really good for us as well, a little unsung hero player. He's put in some stats as well. He's been a great pickup. I really wasn't expecting him to be this prominent on the team when they signed him. I thought, oh, Vasilev, he's a decent player from Miami and St. Louis. He'll be a good depth piece. But no, he's like an everyday starter almost. He's been that important. He's been very good for us. He brings, even last night in the Colorado game, the guy was sprinting still in extra time, trying to chase the ball down. Freaking brings the energy. I see that. I appreciate that. Does he have the most skill? No. But he brings that energy. He's kind of like, you think about Leon Flock, when we had him. I was a fan of Leon Flock, by the way. A lot of Union fans did not like him. I enjoyed watching him play. I thought he was defensively absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, he wasn't great on the ball going forward. I think with Vasilev, you get some of that defensive work that you get from Flock, but you don't get that liability going forward. Vasilev is also, he can pick out a pass. He can score a goal. He's a little more reliable on the offensive side of the ball, so he's a very good two-way player, and he's a good complement to what we have. Because then on the other wing, you got Quinn Sullivan, who is all about the offense and can beat guys on the dribble. He's very direct. Obviously, you got to love the way Quinn Sullivan plays. He's having another good season. Would like to see him score some more goals. I think he will. I know he missed some time earlier in the season. A lot of players have missed time for us, and we've still hung up there. You look at some of the losses we had recently were just by one goal. It's like we're right there. Like the Columbus game where we played basically our C team at the end of the game. Only lost by one. Just hanging in there. We know yesterday we were missing Harriel and Frankie Westfield and still dominated Colorado. It's just really, really good to see this team clicking in all cylinders. You got Bedoya, who's been playing well. He scored against Houston lately in a 1-1 draw. The captain, 38 years old, still bringing it. It's like it's hard for Carnell to keep him off the field because every time he goes in, even last night when he came into Colorado, he was linking things up on that right side and getting into the attack. He's such a smart player. You guys know that. Listen to me. I'm a huge, huge Bedoya fan. He's my favorite on the team. I think he's one of the greatest Philadelphia sports captains in history. In Philadelphia sports history. That's a conversation for another time. But he's just been, the fact that he's even still, making things happen at his age is just great. And in this system, you'd say, oh, Bedoya doesn't fit in this system, but he does. He does. He still gets at the ball. He still makes runs forwards. What was the game was it Columbus game that he played right back in? He was great. He stepped up and played right back when all our other right backs were out. He said, "I'll play right back, coach." Doing what a captain does, stepping in there, and he did not look out of place at all. He didn't have the pace, but he used his experience to cover the ground and to play that position really well. I thought he was amazing in that game at right back. So Bedoya is a versatile player as well. He can play in the middle of midfield. He can play on the side. He can play now in the back line. Like, how can you not like this guy? How can you not like this guy? The guy freaking does whatever he wants for the team, for the club. He bleeds Philadelphia Union. And the guy, still gets into good positions and is still able to put in a goal too. I mean, I liked him back in the day on the U.S. team. I like him even more now that he's on our team with the Union. I'm going to be really sad when he retires. I honestly thought he would have retired already, but he keeps re-signing, and he keeps proving everybody wrong that he's still got something left in the tank. By all means, Bedoya, re-sign for another year, please. Please. I'll take another year, Bedoya, no doubt. He's still got a lot of soccer left in the tank. But you just see different players like that stepping up. Players like Makanya, players like Lukic. Damiani lately has been looking better. Hasn't been exactly what you want him to be, but you can see the potential there with Damiani. His hold-up play is second to none. He links up well. He gets himself into a lot of good positions. He just doesn't score. He needs to score more. He misses a lot of chances. But the work rate's there. The hold-up play is there. I like that from him. He draws a lot of fouls too. He battles in there. Yes, we need him to score more goals. We definitely need Damiani to score more goals. We're paying him to score more goals, but the potential's there. I think by year 2 with him, I'm going to be more patient with Damiani. I think by next season, he's going to be a little more comfortable with the league and the team, and I think he's going to score like more goals next season than he is right now. He only has 4 right now this season, but he scored some big goals for us. Ua is the guy who we expect right now to start scoring some more goals. 2 last night. He's been injured, he's missed some time. Let's hope he can get going, because it'd be nice to get another guy scoring consistently to help out Baribo. Even though they've done it by committee with different goal scorers all over the field. Again, Glesnes has scored, Kai has scored a goal. Harriol's put one in. A lot of defenders have scored. Quinn's scored one, Bedoya. Who else? We haven't gotten any from Donovan or the young kid Sal Olivas, who's been playing lately. Who looks like he's brings some good energy. Bueno's gotten a goal. So we still got Bueno for depth as well in the center of the park, which is good in case we don't have Danley or Lukic for any said game. But they've just been really good from top to bottom. Players like Andrew Rick coming in, playing goal and playing well. We haven't missed Andre Blake as much this season. Last year, without Andre Blake, our team looked lost. We looked vulnerable. But this season, not the case. Andrew Rick's coming in, the young homegrown, and he's been great. He's been a more than capable backup. Probably deserves to start for another team, but I'm glad we have him. Honestly, I would love for them to keep Andrew Rick around for when Blake retires, to have Andrew Rick as the number 1. Just keep rotating them both right now, keeping Blake as fresh as you can for like cup runs and MLS Cup runs in the playoffs, and just keep getting Rick that experience here and there. And I think when Blake's ready to retire, you'll have a goalie right away that's already got the experience and is capable. To look at the recent games for the Union, 3-1 win over Colorado, coming off of a 1-1 draw with Houston, 2-1 win over Montreal the game before, coming back from 1-0 in that one, I believe. 2-0 win over the Red Bulls. Before that, it was back-to-back 1-0 losses to Nashville and Columbus. Those games could have gone either way. The Nashville game makes me upset because we were up a man for a long time in that one, and then we gave up a late penalty kick, which really was weak. I can't stand Nashville right now. They annoy me. Hani Mukhtar annoys me. He dives a lot. He complains so much to the referees. Of course, he got a penalty there. The Columbus game, I can't be too upset about a 1-0 loss there. Again, we were playing with all our reserves basically, and we went into Lower.com field and put up a hell of a game, only to lose it late. Beat Chicago 1-0, beat Charlotte 2-1, a 0-0 tie in Dallas. Again, we were up a man, couldn't score. We need to be better up a man, honestly. That's like history with the Union. We're never good when we're up a man for some reason. We need to be better with that. Because I think it's because the style of play we have, we're not really a possession-based team or club. We've never been. We've never had a manager that had us, knocking the ball around, possessing it so much. I think we need to fall into that whenever we're up a man, so we can move the ball around quickly side to side, keep the other team running around, and use that extra man to our advantage, rather than just kicking the ball long or playing direct or looking for set pieces. Like, keep the ball on the ground. But it's been unbelievable. There's games we could have won and got something out of that we didn't, Like the Miami game, were we up like 3-1 in that game? Should have won that game. The game against Nashville, up a man, or in the game against Dallas, we could have won both of those games. If we got more points, we could be further ahead in this supporter shield standings right now. We should be. But can't complain about where we're at. Thing is now, that's a good win yesterday against Colorado because now we're on a long break. Our next game is not till August 9th against Toronto at home. So we're playing Frankfurt for a friendly just to stay loose in Philadelphia as Paxton Aronson comes back into town before we play Toronto on the 9th. So a little break here in MLS play. Leagues Cup is starting. We're not a part of that, but we do have a U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal on August 13th. So I assume the game against Toronto, Carnell's going to rest some players. In fact, we got back-to-back games against the Red Bulls. The Open Cup game, and then 3 days later, we're going to New York to play the Red Bulls in MLS play. So there's our bitter rivals. Back home against Chicago. Then we have back-to-back road games. Here's where it gets tough here. This is going to test whether we might win the Supporters' Shield or not. After that Red Bulls game and Chicago game, we go to Cincinnati and then Vancouver back-to-back. That right there is going to be very telling. If we're still in the Supporters' Shield race at that time, those two games could determine whether we win it or not. Because then the rest of the season, we're at home against New England, away at DC, both winnable games, home to NYC, another winnable game, and then on the road in Charlotte on October 18th when the season ends. Regular season, that is. So, looking at the schedule, there's a lot of games that we, on paper, looks like we could get results in. Those road games against Cincinnati and Vancouver are looking tough. Charlotte's also a tough place to go to at the end of the season. So, it's possible this team could win the Supporters' Shield, but a game like last night where they come back and win is very telling that they want to do this. They believe that they can. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what's going on inside the locker room, what Carnell's telling them, if they're even talking about the Supporters' Shield right now. I doubt it. As a coach, you probably don't want to put that kind of pressure on your players. I would just keep telling them to, stick to the principles of the system, believing in and playing for one another, and just focus on the game in front of you. If there's a couple games left and you're right in the Supporters' Shield race, then I'd say, in the locker room, you talk about it. Be like, listen, guys, we're this close to doing this. We can do this. But right now, I don't think they're probably talking about it in the locker room. I'm sure they hear the chatter from the outside of people like me talking about it, but it's possible. I don't think they will, but my goodness, it's actually possible that they could win the Supporters' Shield. Now, I would rather them win MLS Cup. The Supporters' Shield's nice. We won it, a couple years ago during the COVID-shortened season. That was great, but ultimately, MLS Cup is the prize. That's the NBA Finals. That's the Stanley Cup. That's the Super Bowl. That's the trophy you want to win. That's the thing. Supporters' Shield is just finishing with the best record in the regular season, which is great. But you want to win MLS Cup. We came close a few years ago against LAFC. Thing is, though, if we do finish with the best record, then that means we have home field. So throughout the playoffs, we'll have home field advantage. And if we were to get to the Cup, we would host it, which would be amazing. Imagine having MLS Cup in Philly there at the Subaru Park. That would be, the atmosphere would be electric, absolutely electric there. The fans are so crazy during the playoffs in the Union games, and they sell out regular season games left and right with incredible atmosphere. But the playoffs at the Subaru Park, I've actually never been to Subaru Park. I didn't live in Pennsylvania when this team started to exist, so I haven't been able to go to a game there. I've seen the Union play 3 times in my life, all on the road. Twice in New England, once at LA Galaxy Stadium. But I've never actually been to the Subaru Park, which I would love to get out there one day. But you need to watch those playoff games on TV. Whenever they would make the playoffs and play that at home there, the atmosphere is always just absolutely electric. Can't imagine being there. And they've had some crazy playoff moments there, Jacob Glesnes. But they could host the Cup realistically, even just finishing first in the East, or at least not even, say they finish like second or third in the Eastern Conference, but they could likely finish second or third in the Supporter Shield race at that point and still be ahead of anybody from the Western Conference points wise, which means whoever they meet in the Cup, if they got there, they would have home field advantage, which would be huge. As you see, the LA Galaxy, defending champions, are really struggling this season. They're really missing Ricky Puig. Without him, they just aren't the same team. Let's be honest, they aren't the same team without him. They're most likely not going to be in the playoffs. The Galaxy currently sit 14 points out of a playoff spot, and that's a wild card spot, with 11 games left on their roster. I mean, on their schedule. I don't think so. It's too little too late for them. Eastern Conference teams like Montreal, DC, Atlanta, Toronto, kind of New England's fallen out of it. New England was playing well for a bit, but they've really fallen back. Their defense has been terrible lately. New England, it was weird because New England, for most of the good stretch of the season, they're playing great defense, but their offense was horrible. Now that their offense is getting better, their defense is horrible. So they're now 10 points out of a playoff spot. So there's not really much of a playoff race in the East. It's just that 8, 9, and 10 spot. Chicago, Red Bulls, NYC, Charlotte are all battling there. One of those teams is going to miss it. I hope it's NYC, but yeah, they're all battling for the last spots there. One of them will miss it because I don't think, unless New England goes on another run, I don't see them getting in. I mean, they're running out of time, and there's not much of a playoff race in the East. It's more about the race at the top of the Eastern Conference. Western Conference, there's certainly a playoff race. Got a lot of teams really close to one another. Austin, Salt Lake, Colorado, San Jose, Houston, Dallas, all right in that mix. Top of the West is a race too. San Diego, Vancouver, Minnesota up there. Seattle playing decent. Portland's playing pretty well this year. LAFC in 6th place right now. Yeah, not my favorite team. Glad that they're doing not as good as usual, but they're still going to be in the playoffs. Union trying to stay ahead of Cincinnati and Nashville. Inter Miami have games in hand, though. Inter Miami can actually take over the Supporter Shield race if they win their games in hand right now. They would be a point ahead of the Union. So that's where we need Inter Miami to start struggling again. They said they did tie yesterday without Messi and Jordi Alba. That's a great result for the Union, as they were able to leapfrog Cincinnati. And Evander, who's been unbelievable. For my money, he could be the front runner for MVP right now. Yeah, you got to say Messi too. I mean, Messi's got to be in the MVP race too. Columbus doing all right. Like, we've given up 24 goals right now from 25 games. That's less than a goal a game. The closest team to us in terms of goals allowed, looks like Nashville have only given up 26. And Vancouver have only given up 26, as well as Austin. So we have given up the least amount of goals. Let's see who scored the most goals in the league. No surprise, it's Inter Miami have scored 49 goals to lead all teams. We're right there, 43 goals scored. San Diego's put up 48 goals. Unbelievable what they're doing. But yeah, this Union team is proving a lot of people wrong, including myself. I had very low expectations for this team. In fact, some experts I think picked the Union to finish like 12th or 13th or something in the East this year. I mean, Bradley Carnell has to be Coach of the Year. There's not even like a question. Either him or whoever San Diego's coach is, I guess. I don't even know who their coach is, to be honest. Have to be the front runners. You could even make a case for BJ Callahan of Nashville. But who expected the Union to be this good? Nobody. Can they bring it in the playoffs, though? Can they bring it in the playoffs? That'll be the question. But for now, I'm going to keep an eye on this Supporter Shield race. Maribo's in this Golden Boot race a bit. You know, he needs Messi and Sam Surge to cool off a bit. And hopefully he can heat up. Union have never had a Golden Boot winner before. I think if Maribo didn't miss those games earlier in the season, he missed like several games, he would be up there too. Because you think he'd have at least another goal or two, or even be tied with them at 18. But it is what it is. It's more important that they finish first anyways, rather than a Golden Boot race. But it would be nice. Just really, really proud of this team. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than just keep going, Union. Keep doing it. Keep proving us all wrong. Keep showing people that you're for real. Again, it's a long break between games, so I wanted to do this podcast now to talk about it before they have this long break. And the Open Cup, and let's not forget about the Open Cup too. They're in the race for that too. That tournament, that cup. Would be a major trophy if they were to win that one. So they've been taking that one seriously. Let's hope they can keep their run alive in that too. Like, they have a chance at multiple trophies here. We're looking at potentially the most successful season in Union history. Points-wise, it might be. But what about the trophy case? And I was a big, big supporter of Jim Curtin. I'm actually surprised he doesn't have a job right now. I was not happy about his firing at all. The way that the group. I mean, let's be real here. I still am upset with his ownership. I talked about a little bit in this podcast about how they don't spend money still and all that. Yeah, this ownership. Let's not forget, they're still greedy and still cheap. They're willing to sell any player to make a profit. They're not going to go out and spend, a bunch of money on one player. They're not going to buy a big name. That's just how they've been. And yeah, they claim they want to build with youth, but then they sell the youth when they get good. So, I can't trust his ownership still. I support the team, the players, the coaches, the fans. I don't support the ownership. Let me make that clear still. I still want them to sell this team to an owner who will actually put in the money to invest in the team. Like, oh, they opened up a new training facility lately. Oh, okay, they spent a bunch of money on a training facility, but you won't sign like a top tier player. Like, my goodness. But I don't want to get too negative here because this is about how good the team's been this season. And they have been damn good. Damn good. Just love watching this team play right now. We're scoring and setting up some really nice plays. Like the Ua's first goal last night was just great passing and patience. The way he opened up space to take the shot at the top of the box. And then the finish was just unbelievable with the left foot off the post and in. You see what Ua can bring. We saw Ua, a season or two ago when it was him, Gazdag, and Carranza were just scoring goals for fun. Ua's kind of been the forgotten man a bit here because we've gotten new players in. but he's still on this club, and he still shows you the quality that he brings in his second goal last night, using his pace to get by the defender. The defender had no chance to catch him. He had to either foul him or let him go. He pretty much let him go. And then Uwe was able to squeeze one between the legs of Zach Steffen for his second goal and the dagger. You see, that's the kind of thing that Uwe can bring to the club. He's totally different from Damiani. Damiani's not a guy that's going to run in behind. He's not going to use pace. Damiani's going to hold the ball up. He's going to get into the box, look to link up. Uwe is the guy that, you want to play the ball over the top to and have him run onto it like his second goal last night. But he's also a guy that can look for a shot. I really like Uwe. I just want him to score a little more consistently at times, but I think he's a really quality player. He doesn't have the softest touch with his feet. Sometimes his feet are like cement. The ball just like bounces off of his feet. You can't control it sometimes, but he is a very calm striker, in finishing. He's very good at finishing a lot of his chances when he gets them. I think this is probably the best group of forwards the Union have ever had at one point or another. I shouldn't say that, because technically we had Carranza, Ua, and Baribo on the team, but Baribo didn't really play then. That was probably... Imagine if Baribo played a lot then, between those three, because Carranza was unbelievable. I'd say that was probably the best crop of forwards we had. Then we lost Carranza, and then Baribo started playing, and then he was unbelievable. And now we signed Damiani, who I think is going to be really, really good for us in the long run. So we got him for 4 years. So this is only year one with Damiani. I'll give him till next year to start really being consistent. But you can see the potential he has, the quality he can bring. Has he been as good as we want him to be? No, of course not. There's times where he's missed some sitters, but he's leading our team in shots, I believe. We just got to put the ball in the back of the net a little bit more. That's it. It should be fun. Let's keep going strong, guys. Thanks for listening to my Doop podcast here on the channel. I really appreciate it. Obviously, we'll be watching the Union games closely the rest of the season. Hopefully, I'll be doing another podcast with more positive news and positive vibes on the next one. Again, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Be safe out there. Till next time, 0 is the number. Peace out.